Welcome to the Midwest Happy Hour. We're your hosts, Lacey and Haley.
Join us for a drink and a chat with a new Midwest small town perspective on topics that will keep you learning, laughing, and growing.
So let's get into it. Cheers!
Hi. Welcome, everyone.
You know me, and you know her.
You sure do by now.
Let's
hope. Unless you're new. Unless we got some newbies.
You've been listening.
We are live. We are live from Haley's front porch. We got some kids walking by.
If you ever want to do anything, follow your dreams. Just start a podcast. You can do it too.
Yes. They just looked at us like we're crazy. Everything is fine.
They're young enough, they'll think about it, and they'll either be like, I don't want to be like those people, or they'll be like, you know what? I do want to be like those girls.
Right, you should. You should want to be like us. But no, so we're on Todd's front porch. This is like very nostalgic for me because like we used to sit on this porch swing literally all the time.
A lot. Yeah, like friends would come over, we would sit here. I mean, like we would go crazy on the swing. It fell down once.
Yes, it did.
It did indeed.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good right now, though. It is a bit of a bird's nest in this area, but that's okay. Sometimes when your house is built in 1885, kind of becomes a bird's nest situation.
Exactly. That definitely happens.
I love this because this road is kind of busy.
Right. So people are going to be like driving by like, oh, hey, busy for Colfax anyway.
Yeah.
But there's also like someone sawing something across the street. So it'll be interesting to know if we can actually hear it or if I can make the edits.
Chainsawing for sure, not like...
No.
He's not using a traditional saw to cut down a tree.
No.
No, that's not happening.
But we just got back from the first Colfax Farmers Market.
Cute.
What's today?
June 1st.
June 1st. So the next Farmers Market will be June 17th. No.
June 15th.
15th.
2 weeks from today.
Yeah, 2 weeks from today because it's every other Thursday.
Yeah.
If you can hear
that was all the gnats that can smell me attacking Lacey for some reason.
Mm-hmm. But it was cute. Obviously, there's not a lot of produce out at this point in time because summer just started. But
you got a pepper plant.
Yes, we got a jalapeno plant for $2, everyone. This jalapeno plant was $2. If you go anywhere in town and you're getting a plant that's already begun growing.
Or even like, how much is a jalapeno?
Right.
Like $1?
Probably.
Yeah, so grow your own.
Right. So in our garden so far, we have tomatoes, bell peppers, carrots,
cilantro,
basil, just planted that, sweet basil.
Yeah.
We have strawberries. Yeah. We've had strawberries for a couple of years, so they should be producing pretty well this year.
Grant told me we have strawberries, blueberries, peppers, strawberries, blueberries. Like he kept just pointing at all of them, and I
know we have more things growing.
You don't have blueberries. Grant
we don't
lied.
Yes.
At 3.5, he's already
lying. No, I'm trying to think.
Jeez, what else did we buy?
What else did you plant?
Because
where did you get your plant?
Oh, Growing Grounds.
Yeah. Shout out Growing Grounds.
Right, they're not
South-Maine.
Like that expensive either, but the plant that I got was $2. They were also selling a bunch of other plants, so
up here at the farmers market.
Yeah, up here at the farmers market.
Yeah, also meat. There was lamb meat, chops, like the ground lamb chops, and there was a couple other things too. And this is like the first one. Oh, they have ice cream for $1.
Ice cream, and then there was also leather products being sold.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's going to be great.
It is. It is in the pavilion. If you haven't come to Colfax lately and you haven't seen the new pavilion that they put up, it is beautiful.
It really is.
It looks so great. And I always kept meaning to donate to get my name on the stone, but now it's too late. I just kept putting it off.
It was Octavia versus Ridgeview, but they did raise $100,000.
That's amazing. That is amazing. But it looks great. What I heard is that they're going to do these farmers markets, and then they're also going to like have music up there sometimes. Yeah. And then they'll bring back Colfax days.
The good old days.
Yes.
Yeah, the good old days is going to be August 4th and 5th. There's going to be a carnival at the park.
Yep.
The pool is free. There's going to be a street dance.
I think there's a 5K. Oh. Like, there's all the things.
I don't know how much that is, but it sounds like a lot.
So my thought process is that maybe Flint and I can do the 5K, push the stroller, because I'm sure they'll allow strollers.
Oh, I didn't even think about that being a thing. And then
have the kids here all day.
Yeah.
And then take them home. But then there's a band at night. Yeah. So then maybe come back for the band.
Yeah.
And have our babysitter watch the boys while we...
I'm probably going to have to sling beer. I don't really know what my set hours are or anything, but I do know that there's not many options,
right,
to serve beer besides me. So,
but if you don't even live in Colfax, but you grew up in a small town, like small towns are near and dear to your heart, like keep Colfax in mind. They are trying so hard, and like doing such an amazing job of bringing Colfax really, back to life, because it was like in my head almost a goner.
It's because everything on Main Street is 250 years old.
Yeah, and falling apart and wasn't properly taken care of. So the piece that like really like pulls at my heart is the fact that they had to take out the like your dad's welding shop, which was a movie theater.
Yeah.
How cool was that? And like the architecture of like the front of that building was so beautiful.
You'll never ever be able to have anything like that ever again.
No.
Have you checked out the little area that is like catty-cornered from the pavilion that has all the history?
I haven't like gone in depth, so maybe we will.
Colonial. They have the front of the theater, the Colonial Theater. I mean, it's a big giant slab, says Colonial on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last remnants of her. And the brick got dumped, I believe, by Jim Bites. Shout out Jim Bites. I won't say anything more than that besides that he dumped the bricks alongside the Mackinac.
Oh.
Whatever. And even if Jim did do it, he did other shit that is annoying. And
okay.
Yeah, if you're listening, I think it's annoying. I hope you are listening. I hope you know that it's annoying.
Are we going to keep this in there?
I don't care. But yeah, and they tore down the hardware store. Actually, the hardware store is exactly where the pavilion is. The hardware store used to be right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've just had,
I remember the smell of the hardware store.
Like, we go in there and see if we can get a pink gumball to get a free movie.
And then oh man. So I put everything up on my mom's tab.
So Mike's
that was
hardware,
like a thing.
I know.
Everywhere I'd go, my mom would always just say, put it on my mom's tab.
I know. And then my dad would get so pissed off at me. He'd be like, how did you spend $40 at the hardware store this month? I'd be like, well, I bought a jacket and a sled and I got 3 movies. And he'd be like, you have to ask me before you can go. Oh, my bad, Dad. Sorry, I thought I could just like willy-nilly go in there and run up a tab on you.
I don't think in today's day people have tabs anymore.
No, I don't even do that at the bar. I'm like, I mean, you can run one while you're there if you're lucky.
Right. Right.
Might make you give me collateral.
Right.
No, but Mike's hardware store, you just bought your plant from Mike's garden.
Oh, that's the same person?
It's the same. Yeah.
Oh, I love
it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that makes my heart feel
you're still supporting. Oh,
right.
We're drinking Kenwood wine.
Yes, we were going to get there.
Tomorrow.
Bye, Augie. He said I could hear the ladies.
Yeah, we could if he was talking, you could definitely hear him in the background on this. Old one-eye Augie. He's scary. Oh, my dad is scary. Yeah, he is. He's gigantic. We're not scared of him because we've known him since we were babies, but like he's like
cheers.
He ain't got no eye on this side.
No, well,
he really don't. Right. My dad just told me a funny story because we were talking about trampolines, and Augie bought a trampoline. He was my next door neighbor, and Zach jumped off the roof and hit the trampoline and broke his arm. I don't think you're allowed to return trampolines, but Augie returned the trampoline. Like, could you imagine? This dude's like, I don't know, 6'7", and like he has the deepest voice anybody's ever heard. Like, if you're the return lady at Walmart, you're like, yes, no problem, we'll take this right away. Yeah, we got
you covered.
It didn't last very long at all, like 2 weeks. Zach broke his arm, and it was like, nope, no more. Because we're going to go put it next to the pool at our house and start jumping from the Oh, yeah, more flattering angle for me. Thanks, bud.
What do you mean?
No, it's fine. Just leave it, please.
Well, it was mostly on me.
The equal amount of us.
Yes. It looked uneven.
Oh, I bought dresses today.
You did?
Yeah, I bought multiple because they were so cheap. I went to...
Inexpensive. Cheap makes it sound like they're...
I went to Kohl's and Ross. I mean, I didn't go to, like... I was going to try Von Maur, but I thought about Ross after we went to Kohl's. I got this cute little, like, blue little floral dress. It was $10 at Kohl's.
Fun.
And then we went to Ross, and I got 3 dresses, I think, and they weren't even, like, $20 a piece. One, like, dark blue one, like long, like almost like prom dressy kind of, like, but it's like tulle. It's very nice, like formal dress.
Is that what you'll wear to the wedding?
I didn't realize. I see. This is how many weddings I've not been to. The attire is cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just gonna I figured some of the the dresses are at least two different colors. I mean, different shades of blue. And Patrick, I'll see what I match him with.
Yeah.
Like whatever shirt.
Oh, I now want to see him. I'll help.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. But before we go any further, we are drinking Kenwood Sauvignon Blanc. Cheers. Love you.
Yes, love you. Love wine.
And I love wine. We were kind of thinking of what we were going to drink today because I was coming to Colfax and I knew it was hot out and we talked about doing this podcast on the front porch. So then I figured white wine is what is needed at this point because it's hot.
Yeah.
It's muggy. Oh,
yeah.
It's muggy.
I don't know if I said this on the podcast already, but I read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And it's about these ladies that have a book club and they end up slaying a vampire. And this is what I picture. Like their book club was just like hot and muggy and they're just like drinking wine and there's like, little toasties or cheese or something on the table.
But it's like this type of weather reminds me of my childhood. Just like being outside all the time.
Mom, it's hot. Can I come in? Here's a popsicle. I'll call you in an hour. As a matter of fact, here's 2 popsicles. I'll call you in 2 hours. And not even call you, just yell out the door. Hey!
Yeah.
Kids!
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm coming. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah. Did you notice there's so many kids out and about?
Yes, I love it when the kids rode past us on their bikes. I'm like, yes, this is what my kids need to be doing.
Buy this house.
You need to buy this house.
No, you first. I'm going to live on a commune on the south side of town.
Well, that's what I would also like to join in on.
Well, no, it's not big enough for all of us.
It can be.
Okay.
We don't need that big of houses.
No, I'm talking Dad wants a tiny home, and I want a little bigger home.
And I want a little bigger home than your little bigger
Small,
home.
medium, and large.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't even want a house this big.
Why? It's plenty. It's good size for your family.
But here's the thing. I just want more land. We don't need to be inside.
Oh, well.
I'm down to live in an RV and travel with my kids and homeschool them and
until you're in an RV with your kids for dude, when we went on family vacation, we were gone for 2 weeks. It was we came home 3 days early because it was becoming problematic. We were all gonna fuck each other up. Yeah. It was
murder each other up.
Hey, by the way, I just noticed my dad leaves his TV on 24/7 and you can see it through the window.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's probably ridiculous's.
But a little bit about this wine.
Oh.
I wanted to just because we usually talk about it a little bit more than we just did. But so we're hopping around a bit. Sorry, peeps. But so I sent Flint to the store and I said, I need some white wine, Sauvignon Blanc. That's your instructions. And that's what I usually give him. I'll tell him color and the kind. And then he will go in, and this is his thought process. One, he really hopes to pick out a wine that I truly enjoy.
Right.
So that's appreciated.
But
he will look at the normal price and the discount price, and he'll pick the one with the biggest discount. So, but he's looking for price range of $17, $20, bringing it down anywhere between $10 to $12.
Interesting.
And so that's what he'll
bigger
grab.
discount you would suppose like maybe
he's
better
like,
wine.
Yeah, like better wine because it's also priced higher when it's not on a discount.
Yeah.
But he also got this because he said it was made in California.
Okay.
Soma.
Have you seen the sommeliers where they get a bottle of wine and it's like covered in like a little sweater? Remember, like I gave you for that bottle that one time? Your lining Kugel or whatever. Anyways, they make sweaters for bottles. Covers the whole thing. And they'll like smell it and like hints of oak wood. And they like do this whole thing and then they taste it and they have like 30 seconds to like taste it a little bit and go, it's giving California. I'm gonna go Sauvignon Blanc and California. And then they like undo the bottle. Is that what we should do when we do our wine tasting kit? Guys, we bought a wine tasting kit. Yes, I forgot about it.
From Sam's Club. And we bought the white version. I really love white reds. Yeah. I wish they would have just combined.
Yeah, that'd be more funner.
Yeah.
But it does give you like this wheel.
It gives you like 6 different wines or maybe even more.
No.
Yeah. They're smaller bottles. It's just for like
I thought it was
tasting.
Like 4 half-size
and it's
bottles.
Learning how to taste. I don't know. We'll have to like look into it.
We're gonna do it.
That will be on like we'll do a video and post it on our social media. So if you're not following us on social media, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know
because that's where we post a lot of like our fun content.
What are you following? Influencers?
Right.
Are you following people that like
trying to sell you stuff like our Midwest Happy Hour merch?
Yeah.
Are you? But if you don't know, now you know. Guys, we are selling Midwest Happy Hour merch. We have a crew neck and a t-shirt. Some of you might be thinking, why would I buy a crew neck in the dead of summer? However, when you are inside in your air conditioning,
Midwest Happy Hour,
you are cold, need a little sweater. So like when my house, my first level and my basement gets so cold, so then I put a little sweater on.
Right, you got to keep that for.
So then you can wear it during inside in the summer, and then when it gets fall out, you'll already have a fantastic crew neck. Yes. And so like if you go to our website and our Instagram, you'll see that I did a post, but it'll show you like, and you click on the merch tab, and it'll show you the crew neck and the t-shirt, but it's our logo big across the chest,
and it's in color. The t-shirt is black, and the sweatshirt is like dark gray.
It's like charcoal,
and the logo is like white with like gold.
Yeah, the gold. The champagne glasses stayed gold, which is what I really wanted to happen. I wanted those to stay gold.
Yep.
But yeah, they look fantastic. Shout out to Bolt Cutters in Lexington because they're the ones who are helping us do this pre-order. So that leads me to explain. The pre-order will end on June 17th. So we wanted to give you all enough time to put it in your budget and
couple paydays.
Yeah, exactly. And get yourself feeling okay about spending money. Yeah. So crew necks are $30, t-shirts are $17.
Reasonable-ish.
And any of the profit margin or whatever is going to go towards us getting new equipment. That's ultimately our goal.
Right.
Because having a third person on, we need a third mic and we need a third whatever.
Our little box here doesn't exactly. It's not compatible with
just to be fully transparent, right? I don't.
Yeah, have we not been about our technology situation?
We totally
we
have.
Need 3 mics, people. Do you want to help us get 3 mics? Buy a t-shirt. Buy your friend a t-shirt. Buy your dog a t-shirt. I've seen you people out there putting shirts on your dogs.
Indeed, you're one of them.
I don't put people shirts on my dogs, so they don't fit.
Right.
I buy dog shirts.
But yeah, so and then also we have the affiliate companies that we work with. But again, if you're local and you want to work with us, let us know.
Hit us.
It doesn't even have to be you pay us to even talk about you. It could just be hey, here's a product.
Yeah.
Try it out and review it or whatever. Because we want to support local first and foremost.
Yeah.
Turn off of that kid swinging, honestly.
Do you live in a small town? Do you have a skinny guy that wears black t-shirts and jeans and smokes cigarettes and has
literally every day
has gray hair that he slicks back?
Do you know your neighbors as well as small town people know their neighbors?
There ain't no neighbors over here. I wonder if Dad went over and read the door yet. Across the street there, it's been abandoned.
We talked about this house in the last episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
But okay. So how long are we in? We're like
20 minutes.
Yeah, about 20 minutes in. I want to really talk about.
This is a surprise.
It's not like a big surprise, but it's something that I've really thought about a lot lately for multiple reasons. But we need to normalize stay-at-home moms or just homemakers.
Okay.
We need to normalize it. That's how it used to be back then.
I'm into this.
And it needs to be normalized now because it was like we went through a transitional period where women needed more rights, right? And we wanted to feel empowered,
Literally.
like we could just work.
Yeah, and fight for our
and that
right.
we could do all of that stuff. But it's almost like the same as how I feel as like our technology and like things like that have also like when we watched 1883.
Okay,
I loved it.
Let's go way into the Wayback Machine.
But when we were settling into this country and things were evolving and communities were being built and cities were being built and all that stuff, I feel like we went so far that way that we like forgot, one, what the true meaning of life is, and two, the health of our people actually. So like when I talk about like normalize stay-at-home moms or just stay-at-home homemakers, I mean that because mostly for like our health mentally and physically.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like there's so much pressure that we have to do it all.
Right.
That it like frustrates me. Or I
went to college, I worked 40 hours a week, and I raised 3 kids. What did you do? And it's like, well,
were you happy? Like, let's talk about it. But before I really like dive into my thoughts on this, obviously I want to give a few disclaimers. I never want to push my opinion onto others and feel like you have to do it, and if you don't, then whatever. Right. Because ultimately you need to do what makes you happy and what makes your family happy. Your priorities are never going to be the same as another family's priorities.
Oh, 100%.
Because I feel like a lot of things that I've experienced is like the thought process of, okay, when my kids go back to school, what job am I going to get next?
Blech.
And not that I don't like enjoy having those conversations or want to have those conversations, because I'm open to anything. I will never say never to whatever.
Yeah.
But like that in my head is like, well, okay, I get that, and that was a priority for you. I just would never, ever want to feel pressured into feeling I have to do something to create some form of income for my family in order for my family to thrive and do all the things. Right. Because ultimately, like, you
don't need that much money to live? Or
no, you don't. And like, that's the other thing. Like, my husband makes a significant amount of money.
It's not $20,000, it's not like you have a family of 2 that you can like comfortably take care of and you could not work. I mean, I don't know how much one person really needs to live anyways. It's kind of like
now one thing like that like that kind of like leads me to like the fact that our food industry is effed up and our government, like inflation, like the fact like going grocery shopping shouldn't stress me out, and it does.
Well, yeah, but also you have to feed 2 small children. Like, I mean, that is an obligation. Like because, okay, so what I'm thinking is like, my nut is small. I don't have to make that much money. I can live off 39 cents a day or whatever, probably, like go raid. People just walk through the night and pick out of people's gardens.
That's stealing.
But you have like 2 children to care for, so like your cost of, or not your cost of living, but something like that. Yeah. Like it's a little higher because you have 2 children to feed and clothe and etc.
Exactly. But so when I think about like this topic of just like being okay with other people being okay with taking care of the house, and that's all they do. And when I say taking care of the house, I mean, of course, like cleaning it, keeping it organized, like especially after your kids go to school. So when your kids go to school, then the expectation is, okay, then you go back to work. That's just what you do. But
Why?
because like people think like
Money.
income makes you happier. Well, in reality, that's not the case for all people. And this might change for me later on down the road.
But it's like right now it's like time away from the house, and you could be you could spend your time at the house doing anybody's house always needs something.
Exactly. And that's like my biggest point here is like if you're a stay-at-home mom right now and you're like unsure of what you're going to do like when your kids go to school, if creating some form of income for you is ideal, then okay, do that, or get yourself a hobby so that you're not fully losing yourself to what your job is. Like, so I did this podcast because I wanted to do something,
and you can do that at home, and like knitting or crocheting, you can do that shit at home
exactly
and sell it.
But when you are a homemaker, like you're not just sitting at home eating bonbons all day. What people think, like even back in the day, you are like keeping the home together. You're doing all of the dishes, all of the laundry. You're doing all of the scheduling, especially in today's day, like how busy my kids are going to be when they get older, like doing sports and just hauling them to school, picking them up, making sure that I'm available for them for anything that they need, because that they are still my job.
Right.
I get somehow it still like bothers me that I would have to ask permission from someone to then be able to like go to my kids' field trip or go do whatever like that. Like it just,
I know,
still like gets me.
Yeah.
But also homemaking like your food, like homemade food from scratch. That's how people used to do it. And in the 90s or probably even earlier, like processed food or pre-made food became very popular. And it turns out, everyone, that shit ain't good for you. It's so bad for you.
My favorite.
And it like the last few months, especially actually probably since I had kids, it like blew my mind how much I've learned in terms of everything that you can buy at the grocery store that you thought was healthy or good for you, or all of the stuff that's like that's marketed towards kids is awful.
It's like 61 grams of sugar.
Red dye 40 and just all of this stuff that is awful, that's linked to cancer, that's linked to diabetes,
that's even linked to
yes.
Have you seen
it's insane.
Like they'll do a bag of Doritos from the US versus a bag of Doritos to Europe, and it's crazy. Like 5 ingredients versus like 50 that you can't even like pronounce.
Yeah.
You don't even know. It's interesting. It goes to like almost the conspiracy theory that they're trying to keep us sick so that way they can profit off of us because we're the only nation that profits off of medical.
I believe that. And I like have a love-hate relationship with like our technology, our like internet, social media, because I have learned so much that it's given me such anxiety and like stress about even just what to feed my family. Because
you know too much.
I know too much. I hate it. Sometimes I wish I would have just lived in like this bubble of like not knowing anything like people did back in the day. Like when I think about my dad's generation, my mom's, like
you tell them shit and they're like you're like red dye 40 is like super bad for you, and they're like, I eat red dye 40 for breakfast, and look at me. I'm only like way overweight. Like I'm allergic to death half the time.
Like I think about my mom, and like back then, fat was bad for you.
Oh yeah,
fat is so good for you.
And sugar, they replaced it with sugar. And like, everything's made out of corn nowadays, which is like
what
crazy.
Was that brand that was like not butter? What was?
I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Was like you want me to go get a box out of my dad's fridge to like? God. He probably even has the spray one.
No,
dude. I just had an argument with him. Actually, I flipped out on Patrick, and I know Patrick had to like tell Dad that I flipped out on him because on Thursday. So my dad was like laid up and he could not lift over 20 pounds. So I told Patrick to go get the ham out of the freezer here at Dad's house. And so he did. And then I said, did you put it in the fridge? And Patrick goes, no, I just put it on the counter. And I'm like, did Dad tell you to do that? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you can't just Okay, I know, Dad, that your mom was born in 1920 and she used to put things on the counter all the time.
Wait, what was it?
A ham, a whole ham that we were eating on Sunday. So on Thursday, he put it on the counter and it stayed on the counter till Friday when it thawed out pretty good. And then it stayed in the fridge till Patrick put it on the smoker on Sunday. And I'm like, it's called bacteria. And Patrick's like, come on. I freaking took the test. I have my food handler certificate. Right. I know that's not how you're supposed to thaw shit out, dude. My dad does it all the time. He'll put frozen shit on the counter.
I do that sometimes.
But for like 12 hours?
Maybe not, no.
You wait until it's room temperature?
Yeah.
No,
I wait until it's pretty much thawed and then I'll put it in the fridge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'll wait till it's room temp.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
It's so
like
funny.
My mom did it all the time.
Exactly.
Like, Dad, your mom was born in 1920. She followed
like technology has changed. Like now, like people know too much now.
I know. Like I keep reading. Like one dude ate rice that was 5 days old and had all his fingers and toes removed because he got some kind of like flesh-eating disease. You're not supposed to eat rice that's over 3 days old. Shit that I didn't need to know. I've eaten plenty of rice that's over 3 days old.
Same. Oh no. Yikes. See, if I look it up like this. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. It totally is, because I like, and that's why if you follow my social media, like my personal social media, you see me post things about like doing my sourdough. I made my own jam. I'm making Coda's own dog food.
Love it.
Because he's picky. And I like have gone down this rabbit hole of like pasta. Boxed pasta is awful for you. So now I'm gonna try to figure out how to make homemade pasta, which is actually super easy. Like,
don't you have one of those thingies?
No.
You can roll it out and one of them fancy mixer machines, and you can get.
No, I don't have a stand mixer. No, my dad does though, and he's made his own pasta.
Oh, great!
It's super easy.
He gave you the starter for sourdough, didn't he?
Yes. So my sourdough starter is actually 3 or 4 years old at this point.
Love it.
Which is super cool.
And that bread is so good.
It is so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And
good for you.
So much better for you than the stuff that you buy at the store. Yeah. Even if you're buying the $6 loaves that are like really good for you, like they say it's good for you because it's got oats in it, or what, I don't even know. It's not
it's not
that great for you. But I just feel like, and I feel like I've gotten to a better place because I was like in a dark hole of like frustration and depression, like with our government and our food industry and how they allow such shitty ingredients into our products and to be sprayed onto everything. Right. Like, it makes no sense to me why this is allowed.
They have a threshold of, this is what's bad for you, and this is how much of it you can have before we get in trouble.
And it would give me, like, such anxiety that I would just feel guilty. I mean, I clean all of my produce after I get it, before I give it to my boys, but still, I just don't feel good. Yeah. I don't feel good about it. I've gotten better, and I'm really trying to remind myself, 80-20. Like, try to be good 80% of the time, 20% of the time. I'm still going to get that Culver's ice cream.
And I'm bringing them to McDonald's after the zoo.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's okay to do that every once in a while, and I need to remind myself that it is okay.
Yeah, they're not going to die.
They're not. And you're not getting it every once in a while. At least I'm not getting it every day. And I'm not going to buy fruit snacks at the store and give them fruit snacks in their lunchbox. No way in hell would that ever happen.
How many bags of chips we ate and like freaking Dr. Pepper? Like,
and this wine?
No, this wine's good.
It is. We need refills though. So
there's a squirrel looking at me.
Oh no. He is. Oh my god, he is.
I'm gonna do commentary while you go get us more wine.
Okay, but you need to hold my mic too.
The squirrel's looking at Lacey as he gets up now. Or she gets up. Oh, he ran away, you little nut eater. Dude, we should do like a little tour of Dad's yard. Because it's looking pretty good, except for the fact poison ivy is running rampant here on the residence. I mean, I can see it growing up this tree over here. And it's all over the backyard, as evidenced by Dad's tummy last year when he tried to tried to pull quote quote weeds and said that he quote quote wasn't allergic to it. And then spent like a couple weeks in agony. So, if you think you're not allergic to poison ivy, kids, you probably are. Oh, thank you. Yeah, just let her put her there, bud. How do you know which one's mine?
The purple.
We brought it way back to the first ever wine glasses we used on this episode. On this podcast.
Oh, you can probably tell. Like the rim is like purpley,
And mine's like green.
Colfax watercolored.
Probably. But thanks, Todd.
Yeah, thanks, Pops. These are probably from like 1993. I bet it could
From your wedding.
it could be from his wedding. from my wedding. I was there.
Yes, you
In
did.
womb. I did attend in womb, and I'm sure that they drank. God, thanks, Mom. I can say that now.
Right.
Jesus.
But so when I think about like your situation with like Pat, obviously you guys are together, but like of this topic of like normalizing
people
stay-at-home moms or moms that stay even after stay at home and just do home stuff.
How about I'm not a mom and I stay at home?
Right, exactly.
I have a night job.
Can we just normalize that? But it's not like it's an everyday job.
No, and we're fine if I don't work, which blows some people's minds. But I'm like, it's weird because you guys are old enough that either you didn't or your wife didn't work and raise your kids, or your mom probably didn't work to raise you. So why does it bother you that I don't really work?
And that's like the thing. Why does it bother you?
Right. But that's the whole problem with everything right now, and that's why it depresses you, because everybody has something to say about everything, and it's like, I don't think that
is it like
it's not. Why do you care?
Can I just be happy and do what I'm doing?
Yeah, why do you care? I mean, even my dad, that's how I know that he's like the most accepting person ever, because I got my doubles pierced in my ears, and he just went, another hole in your head, huh?
Yeah.
And like, that's it though. Like, he still loves me.
Right.
He doesn't
Right.
like that one time I got
cheers.
That's the Colfax wave. One
Yeah,
finger.
the finger. Not the finger. One.
Your pointer. Your pointer finger.
But yeah,
Anyways.
like, so when you think of like that topic
Of like stay at home and stuff. It doesn't, honestly, as long as people are happy, I don't, even if you're like, I love doing heroin every day.
it shouldn't,
I do it all by myself. My mom doesn't cry about it. I have good times. And like,
because that's like affecting health.
If you're doing, I eat cheeseburgers often enough that you don't say anything to me though.
Okay, but I don't think the cheeseburger is going to kill you. Maybe
it is.
Maybe the bread that you put on it.
Yeah, exactly. But if I did heroin, you'd be really mad.
I'll make you homemade.
I do cheeseburgers all the time, and you're just like,
Oh my God,
Haley.
Haley, you need to do sourdough.
I'm on the 3 B's: beer, burgers, and birth control. That's how I've gotten this big. No, I know. I actually have a bread machine.
Dude, I will give you some of my sourdough starter and just
I
do
don't even
it.
need it. I just need like the 3 ingredient bread. I can just throw it in that thingy,
Right.
and it'll.
And that's better for you than the bread you buy at the store anyway.
I know.
Because it's all like, people think like, oh, well, why is it bad for you? It's because it's filled with all the processed
High
stuff
fructose
and
corn
all of
syrup.
the stuff that they need to put in it so that it can
Potassium.
stay on the shelves.
Potassium magnate and sodium nitrate. Bad.
All the things.
And
It just like,
pseudorhodium.
and for me, my priorities right now are that I want to take care of my family and make sure I'm giving them the healthiest life possible.
Yeah, you want
And
to set
for
them up for
me,
the future.
it's so important. And like, I'm thinking about even when they go to, because I try to make a lot of stuff from scratch. However, doing that with toddlers is extremely difficult. Right. Like, it's
And that's why
super
it's so
hard
easy
to
to
fill
go-
that in.
Yeah.
But I mean,
buy
I
mac
do
and Cheez-Its from the
at this
store.
point, I'm doing the best that I can. However, when they like go to school, I'll have this time, because when you are cooking from scratch, it takes a long time.
Right.
And that's why people don't do it in today's day, is because you're busy working or doing other things, that you're buying the stuff that's already pre-made.
It takes you an hour to go to the store. Or it takes you 3 hours to sit over a pot of stew and cut all the vegetables and make sure that it boils for this long and then turn it down and then add this later.
When I think about my future in the next few years, because both boys will be in school, I think about waking up, making them a good breakfast, taking them to school, picking them up.
Pack their lunch.
Like,
oh, wait, they're going to be at home for lunch at preschool. So.
Well, yeah, in preschool, they're only going to be doing half days. But I can use that time to take care of the house and also get all the stuff ready that needs to be done for the week in terms of, like, everything I need to make from scratch, like bread, pasta, pizza crust, all the stuff for our food, because food is such a huge part of our lives. We eat it every day. Right. And I just want to make sure I'm providing them with the best stuff possible, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Is it
my job, right? Like, I don't know, my job just isn't like to work to make money, especially when my husband is able to provide for us. Right. Like, I just want to do the things. I don't know. Sometimes a part, like,
you didn't get it when you were a kid.
I didn't.
So part of you is probably like, I know that
maybe
I
a little overboard on it.
No, I'm not even saying that at all. But it's the thing of, like, now you know, and also you need to give yourself props that you, like, actually taught yourself to do all this shit.
Right.
Because nobody really taught you. Like, yeah, your dad's giving you sourdough, and, like, your dad would, cook shit up or whatever for us.
So Darby gave him the sourdough starter kit. So he got it as a gift from Darby because he loves cooking. So she was like, oh, he'll like this. And so he got into it. And then last August, I was like, you know what? I want to try it out. And it's been a lot of fun. At first, it was really frustrating and annoying because I didn't know if I was doing it right or what I was doing. But once you get the hang of it, it's great. Sourdough starter is also very resilient. Like, there have been days I have forgotten to feed it. I've decided the name is Poppy.
Oh, cool. Like, I like that. Poppy.
Cute. Poppy. Pops out some bubbles and...
Poppy, lock it and drop it.
Yep, exactly. So Poppy would not be fed for multiple days, and then I would feed her and she would survive. And I'm like, thank God she survived.
That's how I feel about my plants.
Right, also, same with Phil. I don't know what to do with Phil right now.
He's just growing. You can trim him up. Growing. Also, you know what would be fun is now you have
I can propagate him and give him as gifts.
Wow. Did you just reach into my brain and plug that little snippet right out of there? But you now have an automatic gift. You can just buy cute little, like, test tubes from the Dollar Tree and then just stick you got to get the nub off and then just stick it in a thing of water and then, well, bam, somebody else can have Phil too.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good idea. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Got a little built-in present there.
But, yeah, I don't know.
He's growing good, too. I mean, he's looking great.
Yes.
He's freaking giant.
Yes, I think we're almost at the point where he does need, like, a fresh pot of soil.
Or haircut.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Make him, And also...
Phil's my philodendron. I can't say his name.
Philodendron. You could give him, like, a hanging spot, and then you would feel less annoyed by the tendrils. Also, you could wrap them around your curtain rods.
But he needs up higher.
Yeah. If you hang him, then you can hang him on your curtain rods. I mean, so he's not, like, dangling down in your face.
We need Rooted on here.
Rooted, we need you on here. Chrissy.
Help us.
Come to us. Come look at my dad's plants and then look at mine and go, what the fuck are you doing? Your dad's plants look so good. Are you sure this is your dad? Right. I'll be like, yeah. One day he just sent us a video from the front porch of his flowers were all bloomed. He just sent us a video of him walking, just silence on the other end. You can just hear him walking across the porch.
I love it.
Taking a video.
I love it.
Yeah.
But one of my main points for this topic.
My main goal is to blow.
Because we hop around a lot. We're hoppers in conversation. But that's what happens when you're having wine and it's a happy hour.
You don't tell people we do that. We do not do that.
But I feel like our society. So full disclosure, I do enjoy nice things. I like buying myself new pieces of clothing.
1,000%.
I like traveling to see the world. Cabo was fantastic.
Yeah.
It really was great.
It's a reason that I thought about, like, I need another job so I can, like,
do all the things.
Just work to save money to go to, like, do crazy stuff.
But I think about that, and I also think, like, that reason, and also for people who have kids, they think about, oh, I can't quit my job.
Right.
Like, I can't quit my job. But it's all about, like, what you feel is valuable in your life. Like, so are there things that you can cut out so that you can save, or so that you can make it by without working, so that you can be at home with your kids, if that's something that's truly important to you.
Right. Also, I say that article about, like, it costs a lot of money to be a stay-at-home mom, because if you're going to hire a chef, a house cleaner, someone to watch your kids, etc., it's like over $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even daycare, which when they're really young, that's a lot different. But also, you don't, like you said, when you have a job, you don't have the freedom usually to, like, say, you know, I work every other weekend. Do you think I want to work every other Friday and Saturday?
No.
Everybody's like, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it sucks, but hey, I also like to do fun shit, so I sacrifice every other weekend to work so that I can have money to do fun shit.
Right, but that's also the other thing where, like, you have control over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, I almost feel like our country, or maybe not even our country, maybe all over, I have no idea. Because I don't know
if you're in other countries.
We do have people, like, in other countries that listen to us.
Do you agree or disagree? Tell us, Americans.
But I feel like our, something has shifted to the sense where it's almost like you feel like you need all the stuff.
Yeah,
there's a consumer.
Yeah, it's consumerism for sure.
And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like, I will.
It's like,
I don't want to say this in, like, the wrong way, because obviously we just, like, pushed products on people, but it's not the same.
We did,
but it's also not the same. Like, I'm not. Like, we're not the influencers that are posting every day, like, Target finds, or Walmart finds, or Von Maur finds, or whatever the case may be, where it's like, oh, this looks great on me, it'll look great on me. Like, no.
Right.
Like,
I just said I spent approximately $10 a dress on, like, 3 dresses, and I went to Kohl's and Ross, which Kohl's I went to the clearance section, and Ross I also went to the clearance section.
Right. I have stopped following the 2 main influencers that I followed on Instagram, because I was tired of feeling like I wanted to buy something.
Yeah, it's super easy now too. Buy it online. Well, bam, sent straight to your house.
Yeah.
You don't even
I am just as happy without that.
Yeah, I know.
It's more about just thinking about what you need.
Yeah, and
like, what's it called when people just live a simplistic life, like a
minimalism?
Yeah.
I know, and I think about that every time.
I'm, like, in the happy medium.
Yes, but I also am a maximalist. I want all the stuff. But I think about it when I go, like, backpacking. I've said this before for sure. And it's like, what do you really need? I think about the same when I go dog sitting. I'm gone for 2 weeks, I bring these 2 bags with me, or whatever fits all in here. And it's like, do I really need anything else? I miss some stuff from home, but it's like, I don't really need. Oh, I miss my other lotion. Okay.
Right.
Do ya? Exactly. I've been trying to do a thing too where, especially if I have 2 of something, I try and run completely out of one before I go.
Whoops.
And, like, buy the other or whatever, and I see if I can come up with, like, a different alternative. Do I have this available to me?
Right.
At my house.
Or can I make this myself?
Exactly. Yes. And I think
that's my biggest thing right now. Like, I'm even looking into, like, lotions.
Yeah, I'm using straight up coconut oil right now.
Like, so what I didn't know was, okay, I love this skincare that I started back in January. I ran out, and I've been, like, just struggling with telling myself to go buy it. And honestly, it's not expensive at all. Like, for the face wash, it's 2 different things. It's a bar and it's an oil.
Okay.
So it's a double cleanse.
And you're big on washing your face.
And it's like $20. Like, so it's nothing crazy.
Right.
But their lotion, I really loved, like, their face lotion. And then I ran out of it, and I kind of moved on, because I already had stuff from Crunchy, which I also really like.
Yeah.
But then I was seeing that people were using beef tallow as lotion, and that it's like cleared up their skin drastically, and their skin looks great. Now in January, I'm like, my skin looks fucking phenomenal. Like, it looks great.
Yeah.
I went back to the website and looked at the ingredients because I was just curious, and their face lotion is beef tallow.
It's wow. And so it's like, well, what else do you need in there? Do you really need all that stuff?
They do have other stuff that's like beneficial for skin, like
right.
all the vitamins or whatever,
oils and etc. I mean,
the beef tallow oil.
Yeah,
It was like pretty heavy, but I learned to use the right amount because I was used to feeling like I had to use so much so that my skin felt hydrated.
Yes, I'm the same way with coconut oil. I'm like, I put it on and I'm like, why am I greasy? And I'm like, oh yeah, I probably didn't need a bunch.
Right.
Just put less.
Right. Exactly.
Not so greasy or whatever.
I don't know. I just feel like
it's all available to us. If you're watching Alone on it's usually the dude that stabbed that musk ox to death.
Yes.
And then he like made a bag out of the nutsack and put the brains in it and then used it as lotion because he was feeling all chapped. I was like, dude, I could do that. Catch me down by the Mackinac, stabbing the musk ox.
Like when after having kids and then taking the step away from corporate life, because even before kids, I was always questioning, like, what am I doing? What is my purpose? After having kids, I'm like, this is my purpose, to give them the best life possible. Like,
you're acts like your life did not have purpose until you had kids.
It was more like career. Like, I was thinking more like career-wise. Like, what?
Oh, I was gonna say,
like, what am I doing? What do I actually enjoy doing? Like, I don't want to feel miserable coming into this office and blah, blah, blah. And so, like, I always, like, kept thinking about, like, what is it? Well, this is it. Like, just taking care of them and making sure I'm available and also feeding them nutritious meals, because that's also what they did back in the day. They made everything from scratch, and then there was a period of time where processed foods or pre-made foods, like, just became popular. And so everyone ate that. Well, guess what? We now have, like, severely high obesity rates, diabetes rates, all of that shit. That it's like, cancer, and people are like, oh, why is that? Oh, I don't know. Take a look at the grocery store. I don't know.
Yeah, you're eating the weirdest stuff. Like, knock it off, people.
Like Doritos.
So how do I make that shit so good? Oh my
I know.
God.
Also, exactly right. Like, it's so yummy.
And you can and they do it on purpose to get you addicted to it. What do you see commercials about? Broccoli? No. Do you see Eli? I bought broccoli up there. He was like, broccoli. I was like, I know, dude, but like, I dehydrate it and then I put it in stuff, you can't even taste it. And he still was like, bah. But it is funny as he has chocolate on his face from the ice cream.
Yeah, like, exactly. Which I've looked up how to make my own ice cream, and I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's so easy. Has an ice cream maker that you can have.
Oh, that would be lovely. But I looked up different recipes where you don't have to have one, because I don't have one. But if he has one,
you never made it with us when we was kids.
I don't know.
You put salt and ice on the outside, and then you like spin it on the inside.
Yeah, I never did that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we probably didn't do very much either. Oh, you know what else he found was, remember those you make your own popsicles? We would make them out of Kool-Aid, and it had you would freeze them and then put the dipstick in, and it had the straw, so you could suck the juice out of the bottom.
I don't remember that.
I'll show you on the counter when we go back
dog
in.
is taking a poop.
Oh, it's bad, dude. He's got the diarrheas.
Whoa. Poor guy.
Oh my God. Dude, this dog is going through it.
He's struggling a little.
Yeah, it's
poor
bad.
guy.
It's bad.
But no, but I also was gonna buy popsicle molds, like the silicone or whatever.
Yeah.
And then make our own popsicles.
Because the jam.
Probably good.
I mean,
I put that jam literally in everything, in the boys' yogurt, in their oatmeal. Like,
you could honestly, I bet if you mix it with water, it would become a popsicle situation.
Probably. But I'm just a little bit fed up with all the processed garbage. But again, I'm trying to tell, like, because sometimes I just have to buy it. And that's okay.
Exists
and that's okay.
at Monocle's. Monocle's pizza's so
good.
Oh,
so good. Get it a little extra crispy.
Sometimes you just gotta have it every once in a while.
Exactly. And that's like the thing I need to remind myself is that I feel like stuff like that was supposed to be made for every once in a while.
Yeah.
But now it's just so mainstream.
Yeah.
I was reading this one thing that it was like, isn't it weird that when you eat real food, it's called dieting?
Hilarious. Cut out the french fries. Eat some fucking broccoli.
Like, it's so...
I thought that was the guy that called you hamster in 3rd grade. But it wasn't. Or gerbil, whatever.
I don't know.
Looks like his truck, though.
But yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah. Like, eat some fruits and veggies. It's called dieting. When, like, in reality, you can eat salad every day.
Right.
And it's fine.
Right, exactly.
Oh my God.
But I hope, like, this topic didn't annoy people.
No, can I do a quick rundown of this murder that I wanted to talk about?
I forgot, yes. But you know what? The last 2 episodes taught us we don't have to just cap it at an hour. Like, once we're, like, done with the conversation, then we move on. And it's fine to go longer.
Yeah, and I'll make this, like, a shorty, too, because...
You don't even have to.
Well, I finished the book, like, a month ago now, so, like, I don't really remember... I mean, I do remember the details, and also, like, this is gonna be a good one. You're gonna...
Wait, is this on the guy that lived...
Speaking of somebody that didn't want to feed their family bullshit anymore, might as well just knock them all off. Then you wouldn't have to fucking... Then you ain't gotta feed them nothing if they're all dead.
Right, exactly. Okay, so I remember you brought this up, and I obviously know this murder.
No, you don't, because you acted like you did, and I was like... No! You started saying, like, oh, it was a thing of a thing, and I was like...
No, this is the guy in the house that lived 2 doors down from my grandpa. Correct. What I was talking about was there was someone murdered on my grandpa's street... Like, shot by someone, like, when we lived, like, out of the old farmhouse. That's the murder I was talking about. It was, like, this weird Colfax murder that people were like, what the heck? So we'll have to look into that.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm talking about is Reasonable Doubt. It is a true story of lust and murder in the American heartland. Which lust is a little, like, dramatic.
So, quick funny story. I mean, it's kind of funny. About this murder is that... They did
a quick little funny blurb about
this. They did a documentary on this.
You watched it already?
No. But Kelsey did. And she sent me a screenshot photo, and it's of my dad outside mowing. So he's in this documentary.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, my dad's just outside mowing my grandpa's yard.
Oh my God, during this documentary. Because, like you said, I'm pretty sure that you told me your grandpa did not live there.
No, he moved in like a couple years after.
Yeah, so here's a picture of the house.
Yeah.
It's 313 Carl Drive. May 1983. The murders were committed in, I'm going to say...
What a piece of shit.
November. Hey, he's been acquitted. He's on his 4th wife now, if you please, ma'am. Let me tell the story, would you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is going to piss me off.
Yeah, it really is.
Great. Added on to the food industry and the government and everything, it just pisses me off.
Yeah, so let's see if I can find... All right.
Let me just live my life. I want to live on a homestead away from the people. And you, Darby, Dusty, and... my sister-in-laws and like a few select others, obviously Mary's included in that, and my dad, and I can go on and on. We're gonna live in a commune and just live off the land up somewhere. I don't know where yet, but it'll be there.
Yeah. It was 1983.
Okay.
313 Carl Drive, Bloomington, Illinois, if y'all are familiar about it. And a murder happened in the wee hours of the morning, they believe. There is like a pretty big time frame, but the victims are Susan, who was 30 years old, Rebecca was 9.
Our age, could you imagine?
Yeah, Grace was 7 and Benjamin was 5. Their dad, David, was the only survivor. And
ew, I hate that word for him.
He was a survivor. But I just want to say, well, I don't know. Come at me, David Hendricks, I guess. Like, whatever. He was
murderer. He could come get you.
Yeah, sure. He was part of the Plymouth Brethren, which is like a religious thing, like Protestants, I think. I don't know. I just think all that shit's weird. Yeah. Like, to me, people go, do I have my cell phone? Because, so when I finished the book, I finished it at the Colfax Bar and Grill, and I asked all the people that came in that day if they remembered the Hendricks murders.
Okay.
And a bunch of them said that they did, and I said, do you think he's guilty or not guilty? And so I asked 12 people.
Okay.
10 of them said guilty.
Okay.
0 of them said innocent. And 2 of them said they were undecided because they did not do enough research on this topic.
Okay.
But they were all around in 1983 when it happened.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was David Hendricks he sold these braces, like back braces for people that had scoliosis and such.
Okay.
And so he
seemed like a good dude at the time.
Sure. They moved to Bloomington in like 1982. I think they'd been there about a year.
Oh.
And
where'd they come from?
I don't recall. You have to read the book by Steve Vogel called Reasonable Doubt.
Okay.
I think my dad told me once to read it, and then I'll let Flint borrow it.
Okay.
And then he can tell you.
Okay, perfect.
But so they have 3 kids, and he's selling these, they're called the cash braces, CASH, and they're for people that have scoliosis and such. And so he's got to go measure these people, and he goes and he sells his braces to hospitals and orthopedic like doctors and stuff. And so it's not unusual for him to just take off and go to like a sales pitch and just show up at a hospital or something and give them a brochure and, like tell him what he's selling and stuff. But the controversy is that he also was using these models, quote, quote, models to size these braces. And so the big, let me go. So he was using these models, measuring these braces. He was going up north to sell them and such. And one night, November 6th, I believe it was, 1983, he takes off at midnight to go up to Wisconsin to sell some of these braces. And his secretary vouches that he does this like all the time without telling, the people that he's coming. He doesn't have any appointments or anything. Like, that's fine. He's going to leave at midnight, get up there, maybe get a couple hours of sleep and go check in on these hospitals and come back. So he takes off at midnight, so he says. And then the next day, he's calling his home, he's calling his sister-in-law, he's calling his secretary, he's calling all these people because he can't get a hold of anybody at home. And the kids are supposed to have been at school, they didn't show up at school. His wife and his kids were due for dinner at his in-laws' house, I believe. Nobody's showing up. So he's calling, there's 911 calls of him calling into the police department in Bloomington, in like the Peoria area, because they were supposed to be going to Danvers, and he's asking if there's any accidents that have happened or anything because he can't get a hold of his wife and kids for the life of him. Like, he's really concerned about him. Yeah, so he's on his way back, and by the time that he's on his way back, the police and the neighbors have knocked on the doors. Nobody's answering. So the police end up doing a wellness check. And when they go in, they check the back door and it is unlocked. And so the police walk in. Nothing is really amiss or anything downstairs. And they go upstairs and they find a grisly scene. Everybody's hacked to death. The 3 kids are all in one bedroom, hacked up. Ugh. The wife is in her bed, hacked up. I mean, horrific. Big, definitely like a machete-like knife used and an axe. The kids are like almost decapitated. Like, I won't even, I mean, it's
and it goes like in depth in the book.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's horrific. And so, David gets home, they tell him what happened. He is like, he's depressed, he's like sad. He's like, I can't believe this happened to my family. he's telling the police department and stuff. He has no idea what happened. Obviously, he just couldn't get a hold of his family. He doesn't know. He left around midnight to go up north. He took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese's, and then he took them to the bookmobile. He dropped them off. His wife got home. He said goodbye to her. She got in her nightgown, and then he left the house. And the next thing he knows, his family's murdered. He does some weird shit, like he does a press conference for the television the next day, or like, yeah, I think like early in the morning. Like he discovers this around nighttime. So like he leaves at night, they're dead. He gets home at night, they're dead, you know, and he's finding out and the police are finding out. And so then like maybe it was even sometime in the middle of the night or the next morning, he does this interview and it's so fucking weird. Like he is like, you know, they're in a better place. They're with God now. And one of the people go, what would you do to the person that is responsible for this if they're caught? And he says, well, I hope they would find Jesus, and at least like one more person would at least be saved. Ew, buddy, don't say that. Your wife and your children were just hacked to death. I don't know. Say you're going to burn them in fiery hell and you're going to like chop them up into little tiny pieces.
Or just say that you'll find more peace.
It was just super weird what he said. I don't know. Long story short, the trial happens. He's indicted on murder charges. They indict him. The non-believers, you know, the people that say that he's innocent, say the police didn't look at anybody else. They zeroed in on him from the start. The state's attorney said he was guilty. Remember Ron Dozier, the state's attorney I told you about? My cousin said he was out to get him.
Yeah.
Same attorney at the time. Or state's attorney, you know?
Yeah.
And so, they indict him on murder charges. He goes to trial. The book's so hard to read because like 50 pages of it is about stomach contents. Whether, you know, the family split a medium veggie pizza and they found this many stomach contents in this kid's stomach and this many contents in this kid's stomach, and that looked like vegetables that weren't, you know, whatever. And everybody's like, it's not a science. Yes, it is. Like, it's a huge thing during the whole trial, and it lasts weeks and weeks and weeks. And the first trial, he is found guilty. Guilty. And since prison, whatever, years later, he is granted, I believe in 1991, I want to say it went on for years, like 1985, he is found guilty. Years go by, and in 1991, he is granted a new trial on the basis of, so during the first trial, they have all these girls come in that are models and say, like, he touched my boob and it was weird. And, like, he asked me to kiss him on the lips. And, like, I told him no. And, like, all this stuff. And so he's basically going, this is hearsay. This is not true. And they're going, like, yes, it is. So during the second trial, like, when he's granted a new trial, they say that the testimony of the models is not relevant. To any of this in the case, as well as his religion, because they were saying in the first trial that he felt so bad about asking these, you know, touching this girl's breast and like asking this girl for a kiss, that instead of divorce, he would rather murder his wife and children. So during the second trial, his religion is not included, and these women that are models is not included in this case. So he is acquitted of all charges and set free. He is a free man. All you can find on the Wikipedia is he's on his fourth marriage. God bless that woman.
Crazy.
I think he lives in Florida. I don't know. That's what it says on the Wikipedia. And David Hendricks is out there. So if in 1983 he was approximately 30-ish, that was 40 years ago. So he's like in his 70s, just
living his life. Here's my like thought process. If there are real mediums or real psychics out there, or like real whatever.
Yeah, which we've talked about on here before.
Right, and I do believe them.
Yeah.
But why don't they just know?
It's because it ain't real. Yeah, I don't know either, but that's like a really crazy one that it's like,
I guess I didn't know that.
A bunch of people that told me that he was guilty, like my dad goes, well, I hope he's guilty, because if not, that means like another murderer that we don't even know is a murderer is running around in the streets that was willing to kill a whole entire family
and be so
weird.
Crazy about it. Like there was aggression, obviously, or like some weird.
They never found any blood.
And also, what's weird is like they must have known the dad was not home.
Yeah, and so they did weird stuff. Like they said that the house was staged for a burglary because like nothing was actually stolen. And all this kind of stuff. Like, so there were drawers pulled out and stuff.
He did it.
Who else did it? Who else is just running into a house and butchering 3 children and their mother?
Like the wives' tale or whatever of that is that he put them in the wall, but that didn't happen.
What?
Like he put them in the wall.
Are you talking about the Hendricks house?
Yes.
What do you mean he put them in the wall?
I was told that when this murder happened, he chopped them up and then put them in the wall to hide them.
No. That happened at the Colfax bar.
No.
That's what they said. They put somebody in the wall.
No.
And that's
what I heard as a kid.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But
Liars.
I don't think that happened. But yeah, David Hendricks acquitted. So that is an unsolved murder.
Wow, that's crazy. What's also crazy to think about all these murders that happened in the 80s or 90s even is that the fact that they didn't get caught in today's day.
Yeah.
You for sure are getting caught. There's so many like DNA things.
Your phone also follows you everywhere you go, etc.
Like it kind of blows my mind that it wasn't that long ago when murders could go unsolved.
Yeah.
Or any crimes.
There's a bunch of murders in Bloomington. I've been looking them up, like the S&S Liquors and all kinds of stuff. Like, shouts out if you know them. But yeah, that's like a really crazy one that it's really been in my head because it's like, what the fuck, man? Did that guy really kill his whole family? And then he's just like married. He married once in prison, got divorced.
That's weird.
Yep, got divorced. It doesn't specify, but it does say that he married while in prison. And then he's
how long into?
He's only in prison for 4 years.
That's weird. He did it.
And then he got divorced, and then married, and then divorced, and now he's married again. He's on his 4th marriage.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree.
What the fuck?
I have to agree. I think he fucking did
You
it.
didn't move on that soon after.
Yeah, and like the axe was from the house.
Yep.
Well, they don't know 100%, but it's like the axe was missing from the house. So it's just crazy that the first trial is all about like stomach contents. It's like it's a hard read if you're gonna read it. But Steve Vogel is like WJBC, which is Gibson City News.
Okay.
Yeah, he wrote Reasonable Doubt. It's good. Look at In the Wild. Crikey, we have a wild Flint looking around at trees in the yard.
He's really interested in it. All right. Well,
that was a doozy.
Yes. Thank you all for sticking around. We appreciate it. My glass is empty. Haley's glass has a bug in it, or it did. And maybe you drank it? No, it's right there.
It's still in there.
Yeah. I saw as you were like talking.
He's getting drunk.
Yeah, he's dead.
I probably will try not to drink him.
Yeah, try not to.
Could be good for you. Protein. Natural, right?
Supernatural. He probably doesn't have like any insecticide or anything like that on him.
Yeah, my dad doesn't spray anything. He did mow the backyard though.
He did. My boys loved it back there and it wasn't mowed.
It was only 1.5 foot tall.
It was long.
Yep.
I love it. Yep. All right, well, love you.
Love you. Bye.
Cheers. Bye, everyone. Go White Sox. New fan here.
Yeah, what
New fan of White Sox.